When you're designing your website, one thing is something that people very often forget, but as soon as they go to another website where it has been forgotten, it's very obvious to them. It's something that I call focus points. The idea is that the first thing you want people to focus on your website is the first focus point. The second thing you want them to notice is the second focus point. The third thing you want them to notice is the third, and so on. The idea is that by making it explicit, having these dedicated focus points, thinking through, well, what is the first one, what is the second one, and so on, then it's far more likely that you first of all have those, and secondly, that they actually move in the right order, that you have them in the right places, and so on. We'll look at now a couple of examples of sites where there are none. In the first one, it's because everything is de-emphasized so much that nothing really stands out at all. And on the next one, it's because everything stands out. And both of these are very common situations. And then we look at a third website where it has been done fairly well. And then I go through a few more tidbits, smaller things about each of these sites, things they get really right or things they could do better. So let's get to it. The first site is Burns Engineering. The idea here is that the website looks very much like a catalog. Nothing stands out as this is what this is about, so this is why you should buy from us, this is what you will get in the end. This is very much just a catalog. If you already know that you want to buy from this company, you know exactly what you need to buy from them, then this can work quite well. It's not a very good catalog, but it's okay. The idea is that a homepage almost never should be a catalog. That's the problem with this. There should be information like why should I want to buy from you, and what is it that I will gain by buying at all. So nothing here stands out as the obvious first thing to notice. If anything, I think these 4 headlines or links are kind of like the first thing that you notice, or maybe these images, maybe this headline, but at least I skipped over it straight to these headlines and the images. But yeah, nothing really stands out as the first thing to notice. The next example, here everything stands out. There's 5 headlines, not any normal text, just 5 headlines. There's several buttons, there's different colors, there's a lot of images, there's all sorts of things, but nothing really stands out because everything tries to compete for the attention. It's like there's several people yelling at you instead of them talking one by one. But let's look at a quick example of a page that gets it fairly right. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a pretty good example. It's for barcodes. They sell barcodes. And as soon as you come to the site, you notice the headline. I think, at least I noticed this barcode graphic first, but that's quite okay. It's not a very big distraction in the beginning anyway, and the headline does stand out. The problem is that after that, it's not clear what to look at next. I think I started to read through these texts, which are pretty good texts. That's okay. But yeah, there's no obvious next thing to do. This button, I guess, tries to be the next thing, but unless someone is already ready to buy them immediately, then this is not the correct second thing or the second focus point on a home page. Now, let's look at a couple of other things about each of the sites. So first, the Burns Engineering. The problem, basically, the main problem I have with this is not well, the focus points are a big thing, but another major thing is that everything on this page is either about the company or the product's features. It's not about the customers or the benefits or outcomes the customers will get. So for example, the slogan or tagline or something here is about, well, this company is a trusted supplier. They understand the important role these things play. It's not about the customer, what the customer will get or why they would choose them, but rather this is just about the company itself. Similarly, most of these things that are listed here are just features. They're not directly about the outcomes people will get or the benefits that are available here. Another thing here that stands out is the product pictures. It can be very good to show product pictures. There's nothing wrong with it per se. The problem is that it doesn't mean a whole lot, so it's much better in general to either show the products in use or show the outcomes they create. In this case, I don't really know what these do. These are technical instruments. So let's use a lawnmower as the example. Instead of showing just a picture of a lawnmower, rather show someone happily using a lawnmower or a picture of a very well cut lawn. Perhaps the lawnmower is somewhere on the side, but like the focus is this very nicely cut lawn. Both of those options is likely to perform much better than just a picture of the lawnmower. Similarly here, it could be showing the products in use, how well they work or how easy it is to use them or whatever it is that they do, or the outcomes they enable. Both of those are much more important for the potential customer than just a picture of what they look like. Especially in this case, because how they look is a completely insignificant thing in this kind of context. All right, the next one, the easy show jacks. There's a very good idea here to make it very easy for people to see why this whole thing works, how this process works. I think there's a technical issue on this site. I doubt that this would be the standard way this site is supposed to look like, so I'm not gonna get stuck on that. But yes, clearly there's something wrong with this whole top area of the page. But the idea to showcase why this system works, how it works, even showing quite detailed templates or examples of what they actually do is a brilliant idea. But in many other situations, when the customer isn't just buying the convenience of someone else doing these things for them, it's a big risk to show this level of detail. So be aware of it and think through before sharing this level of examples. Just consider, is it something that your potential customers, your target customers, will just look at and be like, okay, great, now I know what to do and I can go do it on my own. Finally, on the barcodes, it's really good idea to have this link here for those people who are not yet quite ready to buy. However, I'm not convinced that this should be de-emphasized, but rather it might be that this should be the primary thing, make people read more about what this company does and what the barcodes are about, but that depends on the target customer. But it is good to have this kind of a page with frequently asked questions, and there's a lot here. But yeah, if most of the target customers are not already ready to buy and they're just looking for the right provider, then emphasizing this sort of information is probably a good idea. Another thing that's really common issue on websites is that there's not a clear next step to take on every page. And in most cases, that next step should be generally the same on every page, or at least almost all the pages. For example, on this page, I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Maybe I'm supposed to fill this contact form in the footer, or you download a sample barcode, or search something, or go to checkout, or there's a lot of things I can do, and none of them show up or come up as the most obvious next step to take. But yeah, the most important idea was the focus points. You should always have a clear idea for yourself. What are the focus points and in what order they are and what people actually look at and how long and in what order you tell people and so on. There's a lot to think of, but just skipping over it basically guarantees that there's a major issue on the site. So don't forget it. Think it through. In the next video, I'll go through a few new websites and we'll focus on colors, specifically the few situations where colors actually make a very big difference on websites' conversion rates, not just do they look nice or something. And if you're thinking of, well, I have a designer, so obviously my colors are good, the more expensive they are, the more likely it is that they've chosen the exact wrong colors. So if you paid a lot for your design, they're probably wrong. So we'll go look at those few things where colors really make a huge difference in the next video. So if you want to see that, just click the subscribe button and I'll see you there.